All I know is when Zion is right, he's the best.
Okay, when is that?
When he's right, and he has been for stretches of his career, he dominates in ways even Luka cannot dominate because he is truly unstoppable in the paint. So in other words, he's truly unstoppable.
Guys, this is going to hurt me to say this, but I'm not sure that Skip Bayless is wrong. Okay, let me stop trolling. On a serious level, I don't think that Zion Williamson is better than Luka Doncic. That being said, if Zion has a relatively healthy career, then I do believe that he's entirely too low on this list, where anonymous execs rank the NBA's top 10 players under 25 to build around. To me, if he's healthy, he's second at worst. If we're factoring in some of the question marks, then of course that rank could get a little more murky, and though I don't necessarily agree, I could understand him being ranked at 6. Guys, in the comments below, let me know who is too high or too low on this list. The unfortunate reality that has clouded Zion's early NBA career is that when you talk about him, you kind of have to add the dreaded tag, if he's healthy. I've said this numerous times on my channel, but the best ability can be availability. You can be the greatest player on the planet, but if you never play, then what is your real value? Now, of course, injury issues don't necessarily mean that your career is done. There have been some really good players who have been able to turn what were relatively injury-prone careers around. Steph Curry used to have these really bad ankle problems. His ankles were so bad that they were becoming a serious detriment to his career. Speaking of detriments to a career, before Joel Embiid was drafted, there were serious question marks surrounding his foot. Joel Embiid was drafted in 2014. He wouldn't play a game until the 2016-2017 season. The Philadelphia 76ers would surely be rewarded for their patience, because now Joel Embiid is undoubtedly one of the best centers in the NBA. I'll repeat this time and time again. When it comes to injuries, I think that the big picture and patience are much more important than instant gratification. Though I don't think that Zion's tenure in New Orleans has been perfect, as of late, I feel as if the Pelicans are making a ton of good decisions, and of course, they're also playing the long game. Just like the 76ers, it appears that the Pelicans are about to be rewarded for their patience in a massive way. According to these reports, Zion Williamson has been looking absolutely phenomenal. For that, I'd have to give a shout out to Zion's work ethic, but also his strength and conditioning coach, Jasper Bibbs. Bibbs recently did an interview with The Athletic where he told The Athletic he's in fantastic shape and that he's been committed to putting in the work day in and day out. Bibbs also went on to say that I'm really proud of what he's been able to accomplish. He's a better athlete now than he's ever been. According to The Athletic, Bibbs would decline to say how much weight that Zion lost this past summer or his current weight, but he would go on to say that Zion has came a long way since they started working together in January. To quote Bibbs, his body composition has improved at an extremely high level. According to Bibbs, one of their main focuses was actually body composition and getting him to a point where he would become a more efficient athlete. To quote Bibbs again, the more weight that he carries around, the more stress that it puts on his body. We focused on aerobic and anaerobic basketball specific conditioning. One of the main goals was to get Zion back to the same athletic ability he had before the injury. In the process, he's improved athletically. I truly think he's a better athlete now than he was before. Once you guys see him on a court, I think you'll agree. First things first, hats off to William Guillory of The Athletic because he did a fantastic job with this interview. If you guys want the full article, you could find it at theathletic.com. As we all know, The Athletic really produces some fantastic stuff and has phenomenal work. It's like they have a super team over there. Now, to get back to what Jasper said about Zion Williamson, if what he said is even remotely true, then I am actually horrified for the rest of the NBA. He said that Zion Williamson, the Zion Williamson, is even more athletic than he was before the injury. You guys don't need me to tell you this, but before Zion got hurt, he was not in peak condition. And the thing is that he was still dunking on people and catching bodies in the 80 or so games that he played. I mean, just look at some of these dunks. You're telling me that as an athlete, he's actually improved? As I just said, as phenomenal as Zion was in the 85 games that he's played throughout his short career, it's still very clear that he's had more to offer and was not in the same shape that he was in at Duke. At Duke, Zion was simply different. He was slimmer, more agile, and as odd as it is to say, he was also more explosive. That being said, this guy was still averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 3.7 assists his last season in New Orleans. Bear in mind that he did this with virtually no spacing, playing next to guys like Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe. That year, if Zoe and Brandon Ingram weren't hitting threes, I really didn't know where they were going to come from. Zion is such a unique player. Despite all of these shooting deficiencies, you still can't stop him. You know what he wants to do. You know where he wants to go. You just can't stop him. It's weird to me that Zion is already so good and effective at whatever position that he's at right now that there are actually some people out there that believe that he should be a shooting guard. Yeah, guys, I'm talking about Gilbert Arenas. You know what? Let's just check out the take. I want to know your thoughts on it.
You know, you put him at the 4, I don't see that car moving anywhere. You put him at the 3, I don't know if he can handle that. You put him at the 2, even if he lose 30, 40 pounds.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of weight.
He's still the biggest 2 guard. Like, he's still going to be faster than every shooting guard. He'll be stronger than every shooting guard.
Yeah.
He'll be the most athletic shooting guard. So that is his, that's the position that makes him the next GOAT. 3, 4, no chance. One dribble, he's going to be past Jimmy Butler and Klay Thompson, all these guys, just off of his explosiveness. So
basically, he said that Zion Williamson would unlock his true potential if he were a shooting guard. I'll say that he makes some interesting points, but I mean, wouldn't teams just guard him with bigger players anyways? Not that it really matters in the end. I've seen Zion make DPOYs look worthless. Now, point guard, let me chill. I will say shout out to Stan Van Gundy. Point Zion was a really fun time. There's some serious hidden potential there. Big guys aren't used to defending players in space with the explosiveness and burst that Zion Williamson has. Oh yeah, and of course the strength. During the 2021 season, there were literal articles about Point Zion and how the Pelicans were one of the best offenses in the NBA. When of course he was on the floor, and I mean that roster was a mess. Just imagine things now. Anyways, to get back to talking about Zion's return, check out some of these recent pictures where the guy just looks to be in phenomenal shape. There is a night and day difference, at least in my opinion. Guys, I'm a simple person. If Zion reported to training camp in shape and healthy, I would have taken that as a massive W. Remember that there were freaking reports last season that this guy was up to 330 pounds. While we'll never know if those reports were true, what we do know is that Zion was in no shape to play at the start of last season, injuring his foot before training camp even started. Last season could have been a complete disaster from the Pelicans. They started 3-16, there was no Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram missed a handful of games early on, yet they were still able to turn things around and make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. They held their own in the playoffs while also having one of the most dense series in the playoffs. In hindsight, the first round of the playoffs were a very weird time. There was kind of this fabricated battle between Zion and the team on whether or not he should play. Then there were sort of these teaser videos dropping and the pregame warm-up dunks. Honestly, everything was a mess, and I'm just glad that at least for the moment that all of this is over and Zion Williamson is a Pelican for the foreseeable future. This offseason, Zion will remove all doubt about his future home, signing a 5-year, $193 million max extension with the Pelicans. Perhaps the most surprising thing about this extension is that it included no player option and also a weight clause that includes him having periodic weigh-ins to make sure that the sum of his weight and body fat percentage stay below 295 pounds. This extension shows that Zion has not only the ultimate confidence in the Pelicans, but also himself. In my opinion, he could have gotten whatever contract he wanted from the Pelicans. He didn't need any clauses or anything like that. Everything that I've seen surrounding Zion so far this offseason has been positive, and I couldn't be happier for Zion. This guy was on the wrong end of so many jokes last season.
Looked like me and Shaq had a baby. They gonna do, man. They eat good in New Orleans.
Last season, Zion made it clear that he was in a dark place. This season, Zion has made it clear that he's returning with vengeance in a way. He's not really going on a revenge tour or anything like that, but I mean, at the same time, he kind of is. To quote Zion, "I want to prove that I'm a winner. It's as simple as that. I want to win with coach, as well as my teammates. The ultimate goal is to win a championship. I feel like that's what we're striving for. Like Griff said, we're all hungry. Y'all saw this past year what the team did. And I'm just excited to add to that. This might sound really dumb, but in every video that I've seen from him this offseason, I've noticed a different type of swagger, a different level of confidence. It's not like he's arrogant or cocky or anything like that. It's just that, like, he kind of knows what he's capable of, if that makes sense. Personally, I love it. Guys, with this team, there's just so much to talk about. If you guys want a deep dive on this Pelicans team, then I will bring one to the channel. I've low-key been itching to make a Trey Murphy video. This team has so many unique stories. I also might make a Jose Alvarado video too. I don't know, just let me know, guys. Now, I know I didn't talk a lot about BI and CJ, but we all know how important they are. That being said, I still gotta give BI his love. I mean, this guy is like the literal backbone of the Pelicans team, maybe even the organization. When things were going bad, he rallied around everybody. He mentored the young players. I mean, he's just been unbelievable. He's been everything that you could want in a star player. Never gave up on the team. Always going to respect that from BI. And the thing is, he does a lot of what he does in silence. He doesn't really blast it off. I mean, just a great start, guys. What do you want from me? We're definitely going to have to do a BI deep dive soon. In the comments below, let me know what your predictions are for Zion Williamson on the season. Do you see him winning any awards? What do the stats look like? And what does the Pelicans record look like? You guys probably don't want to hear this from me, but if healthy, Zion Williamson is my way too early pick for MVP. Guys, let me know if I'm walling down in the comments below. Remember, this team was just the 8th seed in the playoffs, with 3 rookies playing major rotational minutes. And I mean, they also just added Dyson Daniels too, as a lottery pick. Herb Jones is only getting better. You know what? Again, I'm going to chill. Let me know what you guys think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.